Good afternoon. My name is Mark Weatherford. I am the Chief Cybersecurity Strategist at vArmour, the data center and cloud security company. And I'm also host of the Semi-Serious Security, this little video blog we do. And what we do is we talk to movers and shakers and people that have an interest in the cybersecurity space, kind of hear about what's important to you or what you're thinking about, and hopefully it's important to the audience as well. Okay. I'm here today with my friend Rick Crandall, the chairman of Donnelly Financial Solutions, and Rick and I also serve together on the board of the National Cybersecurity Center. Rick is a longtime member of many boards and been in and out of the security and technology space for at least as long as I have. So anyway, thanks for joining us today, Rick.
All right, Mark. Pleasure to be here.
So Rick, as I mentioned, you sit on a number of boards and you've been in this technology industry for a long time. What does it take to get boards of directors to be interested and take cybersecurity seriously today?
Aha. The answer would be a crisis, which means
that's true.
It's likely not going to happen nationally or internationally across all boards. It's going to happen one company at a time as a company gets hit. That's unfortunate. There might be one other driver, which could be some kind of government regulation of the kind just passed in Europe called GDPR, or Global Data Protection Rights, where there are stiff financial penalties if there are certain things that you don't do right. We don't have that so much in the U.S., although there's a law in California that is cropping up. But it's either going to take regulation, which I'm not too happy with, or it's going to take a crisis, and the crisis will happen one company at a time.
Boy, I tell you, I couldn't agree with you more, and unfortunately I do think it's the regulation is going to be the driver to this. But so it's not uncommon for companies that are developing products, vendor companies, to have people that really don't have operational experience. Do you think that that could change things? Do you think it's important for companies to actually think about recruiting engineers and developers that actually do have that kind of operational experience to be building security into products today?
There's no question. In fact, there's a whole field that has been called DevOps, which is a contraction of development and operations being integrated together, so that when products are developed, they not only have the functions they're supposed to have, but also they're maintainable and operational. It's now begun to be called DevSecOps, to where security professionals are mixed into the team, literally integrated in the team. So it's not that something gets engineered and thrown over the wall to quality and then thrown over the wall to security, but rather they're all together in one integrated team. And having a security professional in that team, I think is critical, particularly as we're finding more and more manufactured products, and certainly software products, are having code built into them. And so products are becoming intelligent, which means they become hackable. Yep. And so security's got to be core.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know, we employ DevSecOps at vArmour, and it has really made a huge difference, I think, in the product that goes out the door. So one of the biggest changes, what are the biggest changes that you've seen over the years with how organizations approach cybersecurity?
Well, that's all over the map. I'm not sure I would say awareness is probably the biggest thing that's occurred. And as a result, there are tests of phishing exercises, PHISING, through enterprises to see or try to train employees to function better when they get emails with links or attachments. There certainly has been protective strategies. There's been a lot of software products. There really are point solutions out there as opposed to one cohesive solution. Maybe the biggest thing that has occurred in the last 10 or 15 years is the fact that there is a security organization in most companies. Yeah. And there is a CISO, or Chief Information Security Officer, and that's really important because that at least provides a focal point in a company for not only the strategies for protection and detection, but also a place that people can come to within the organization to see how well they're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's important. You know, we're seeing more and more where the CISO actually reports into the chairman or the CEO's direct line rather than through other layers before getting there.
Well, that is a best practices. I wouldn't say that that's happening many cases yet.
It's getting there.
Typically, the CISO is reporting into the CIO. It should
Yeah.
report higher. And if there's a risk management organization, sometimes the CISO reports there. Occasionally a COO, maybe at times a CEO. But in any event, there ought to be at least a dotted line between the CISO and the CEO. And I highly recommend that boards of directors have at least one director with cybersecurity knowledge, and that there ought to be a dotted line between the CISO and that individual as well.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
So last question, change the subject here.
Okay.
So Rick, you are one of the very few people in the entire world that have climbed all of Colorado's 58 14,000 foot mountains, the 14ers. Yeah, I can't really wrap my head around that accomplishment, but can you tell us, like, I mean, how did you go about this? How long did it take you to do that?
Well, firstly, it got started with me wondering what was I going to do to enjoy this great life in Colorado, being outdoors. And I arrived here 17, 18 years ago. And it was my dog who, every time we went on a hike, she went to the highest point she could find on that hike. So we kept going higher and higher. Eventually, we summited a 14er. And I was so swept away with the beauty, the sense of accomplishment, the exercise, that whole feeling, that I decided to try some more. And this dog, her name was Emmy, and I did 16 of them together.
Wow.
She then got too old. Now we have a publisher that's taken interest, and we have a book that's going to come out on the whole experience. After that, I had a good friend who was an excellent climber. He helped me learn how to do rock climbing, which is necessary for the harder 14ers.
Right.
And when I first started figuring out that I could do that, then I set a goal. Could I do them all? And there are 58 of them. They're all the 14ers in the Rocky Mountains are in Colorado. And that became a goal. And just
Wow.
last September, I did the last one. It was Pikes Peak, which is one of the 14ers, one of the two, that has a road to the top. And I had a whole bunch of friends that weren't going to climb it, but they got in a party bus and met me at the summit. We had quite a party.
Well, that is unbelievable. I've done 3, and I'm not sure I'm ready to make that a goal of all 58. But, well, anyway, thank you, Rick. Thanks for being with us today on the Semi-Serious Security blog, and look forward to chatting again sometime.
Okay, Mark, it was fun.
Thank you.